In a small, unassuming town shadowed by the vast expanse of Bleak Wood, a legend whispered among the locals spoke of eerie voices and shifting shadows. It was here that our story of terror and survival began. We were a group of friends in the 8th grade, each of us driven by a mix of bravery and youthful folly, eager to prove ourselves against the whispered horrors of the wood. Our journey started as an adventure, hearts light with excitement and heads filled with tales of the unknown. We packed our gear and set off, leaving behind the safety of our homes for the thrill of a night in Bleak Wood. As we ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller, their branches intertwining to form a canopy that barely let the sunlight through. The deeper we went, the more the forest seemed to press in on us, a silent observer to our trespass. By the time we set up camp, the sun was a mere memory, replaced by the creeping fingers of twilight. Our fire crackled to life, pushing back the gathering darkness with its warm, flickering light. We settled around it, the comforting glow easing the creeping unease that the forest inspired. Laughter and stories filled the air, our youthful bravado warding off the silent watchfulness of the woods. But as the night grew darker, a change came over Bleakwood. A deep, resonant voice, like nothing we had ever heard, began to echo through the trees. We froze, our mirth dying on our lips as the sound enveloped us, a guttural chant that seemed to rise from the very earth. The fire flickered as if afraid, its light dimming against the oppressive darkness that began to close in. Then came the thumping, a series of heavy, deliberate beats that vibrated through the ground and into our bones. Armed only with our flashlights, we pointed trembling beams into the darkness, our hearts pounding in our chests. What we saw then would haunt us forever. The trees, ancient and covered in thick moss, were moving. Not swaying in the wind, but twisting, uprooting themselves in a slow, macabre dance. The groans and creaks of the wood formed a dreadful chorus, a symphony of whispers and moans that seemed to speak of age-old anger and hunger. We were surrounded, the trees closing in, their gnarled branches reaching out like the fingers of some giant, unseen monster. In a moment of terror, I flung a lit branch towards the encroaching darkness, but it was extinguished as if by an invisible hand, the darkness swallowing it whole. Panic surged through us as we realized our peril. The forest floor was alive, moving against us, as if the very soil sought to claim us for the wood. Every shadow seemed to hide a new terror, every sound a harbinger of our doom. The night turned into an endless flight through a living maze, every turn leading us deeper into the heart of Bleak Wood. Somehow, through sheer will and terror-driven adrenaline, we found ourselves at the edge of the wood as dawn broke. The trees stood silent and still, as if the night's horrors were nothing but a collective nightmare. But the scratches on our arms and the terror in our hearts told a different story. We stumbled out of the forest, the morning sun harsh against our eyes, each step away a mix of relief and disbelief. In the days that followed, life tried to resume its normal pace. We went back to school, walked the familiar streets, and faced the curious stares and whispered rumors. But something fundamental had changed within us. Shadows seemed darker, the wind carried strange whispers, and the night no longer offered any rest. We each felt it, a subtle, unsettling pull back to the forest, a whisper in our dreams that spoke of unfinished business. And then, one by one, we began to notice the signs. A faint rustling at the edge of hearing, a glimpse of movement in the corner of our vision, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. It was as if Bleak Wood had left a part of itself with us, a seed of darkness waiting to grow. The forest called to us, a siren song that promised answers and whispered of secrets yet to be revealed. We resisted, terrified of what might await us should we return to the wood. But the call was relentless, an undercurrent in our thoughts, a constant, unspoken invitation. Our story doesn't end with our escape or our survival. It lingers, an unsettling narrative without closure, a constant reminder of the night we spent in the heart of Bleakwood. We live our lives, go about our days, but in the back of our minds, in the corner of our eyes, the forest waits, its whispers promising that one day we will return to its shadowed embrace. And when that day comes, what happens then? Only the whispering woods of Bleakwood know.